What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Onward! In a world of magic and fairies that's been nerfed and nobody remembers how to cast a spell, live two brothers in the suburbs who go out on a crazy adventure to bring their dad back for one day.
Fun movie. Fun movie. This is a Disney slash Pixar movie. It is branded as such. It did not feel like a standard Pixar movie, I would say. There's this quality you get with Pixar films that's like they transcend the genre of like animated or cartoon. Like they live in this space where their stories and plots and premises are very like geared towards kids, but also in a very mature and adult way. Like it's not talking down or dumbing down in general. There are some at times very emotional and hard-hitting subtexts and subplots to Pixar films. And this one seemed more on the Disney side. Animation quality, of course, is amazing. I have a feeling that the Pixar portion of the branding of this was due primarily to the animation part. But I think story-wise, Disney had their thumb on the creative end a bit more and kind of limited what would normally feel like I don't know. It just didn't have that Pixar feel. It really felt like this movie was specifically designed for a global audience. Like, by that, like there's a lot of movies that come out that seem to be more suited for a global audience, meaning they're very basic. There's not a whole lot of complexity to it. Easily transferable to different countries, to different cultures. Subtitles or dubbing could be very easy because it's not very, easily translatable, I would say. And this movie really had that feeling. And out of those kinds of movies, like the Jurassic Park movies do it a lot. There's just a lot of big blockbuster movies that are really not very good, but then they take off overseas, like in China or whatever. They just explode. They're huge blockbuster movies, which makes the studios a ton of money because we all know Disney is hurting financially, considering they own everything and they produce everything. And I would imagine the majority of things that I talk about on the show, Disney in some way has their hands in. So they need to make more money because when you own everything, why not try to squeeze money out of every human alive? So that's what the kind of the feeling was, that it was just, it just had that kind of slight, not as impactful, not as heavy type of a feel as a normal Pixar movie. With that said, I still enjoyed this movie. It was a lot of fun. You have Tom Holland and Chris Pratt as the lead characters, two brothers who are, the older Chris Pratt plays the older brother, and he's into like Dungeons and Dragons kind of esque thing that's based on the real world that they live, the real universe that they live in, where wizards and things used to actually exist, and he's like a huge nerd into it, and has his van painted as his mighty unicorn. And then Tom Holland's the younger brother who's the nerd and can't fit in, and they're very related, but like obviously two different points in your life. Like kids in high school want desperately to fit in and are scared to stick out in any way. And then kind of what you find out later in life is that it's really not interesting or fun or it's very horrible to be vanilla, to be the same. Not horrible, but it's like people who are different tend to embrace it in their older age after high school, as they get older and they realize that being unique is kind of valued in culture, despite how you feel in high school and in school in general, where it's like everybody just is desperate to try and fit in somewhere. Um, so it's interesting as far as those types of archetypal characters. You got the mom, who's just your loving, caring mom, played by Julia Louis Dreyfus. And then the dad is gone. The dad, they don't explain, like, if this was a real Pixar movie, the beginning of this film would have shown a montage of why the dad's no longer there and make everybody cry before they get into the story. They didn't really do that. They kind of just set up the universe that, like, hey, we're in this place where magic exists, all the fairies and fairy tales and all of those things. Nothing specific, but it's like those types of creatures all exist in this universe. But through technology, it's made everybody kind of forget that they have these special powers, because technology made life so convenient and so easy. So a poignant, like, that kind of premise definitely fits in, I think, with the Pixar ethos of making things heavier than they would appear for a kids movie. But that's just in the setup, and not really a huge part of the movie itself. So the dad is gone, and it is this day is a birthday where the younger kid he's turned 16, I think, and the dad's like, I have this gift. Give it to when both of our kids are over 16, give them this present, which is the way it was said. And that's like a line in the movie that I feel that just kind of indicates that this movie was not made for just a US audience, right? Like the way it's written specifically, kind of weird, because obviously the youngest kid is going to be the last one to turn 16. Why wouldn't the dad just say, hey, when what's that character's name? Ian, when Ian Lightfoot turns 16, since he's the younger of the two children, they'll obviously both be older than 16, but he will be the last one to become 16. So on that day, give him this. So he gets the gift, and of course, it's a magic staff with a little stone in it, and the dad has this thing, and it's the staff, the stone, and then there's this spell. And the spell is to bring the dad back for one day. And in the midst of trying to bring him back, the stone explodes due to, I don't know, faulty construction of the stone. Maybe the stone's damaged. Maybe it's just the inexperience of Ian wielding this new power that he didn't even know he had. So they're only able to bring him back halfway. So you have half a dad throughout most of this movie, which lends itself to kind of, it gives like that Weekend at Bernie's vibe, right? Because he's just like this disembodied like pair of legs that's just walking around. And they kind of allude to the fact, he can't see, he can't hear. It's like, all the other senses are gone. It's just a pair of legs. Up until there's this like dancing moment where they're all kind of like this moment of levity. They kind of got through some craziness. I mean, this whole movie is a big journey. It's fun. It's the two brothers trying to get this other stone so they can bring their dad back to see him. And they have, till the sunset the next day to get this done. Because they want to see their dad. The youngest kid has never seen his dad. Like, he was born, the dad was left dead before. I don't even think they say he died. Right? He just doesn't exist. And then the older brother has like 4 memories, he only has a few memories of his dad. So it kind of has that feeling of being an abandoned child, growing up without a dad, kind of a thing. So it's a lot of kind of themes, technology, absent dad, all these kind of themes that resonate, I'm sure, with many people all over the world. But yeah, it's just a fun movie, I should say. It was a whole entire movie, and it was fun, and I enjoyed it. There's, parts of the thing fall apart. The premise of the half-dad kind of falls apart a little bit. But it's okay. It's a kid's movie, so it's like I'll overlook the fact that he just knows where to get. He knows where his kids are at the end. But anyway, it's a really fun movie. Go out and see it. Definitely more of a Disney movie than a Pixar movie, but still a fun time at the theater. Yeah, so go check it out. Onward. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Go buy my artwork over at inspireddisorder.com and save 25% when you use coupon code RTS. Follow me on social media at Ray Taylor. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!